In this video, we will explain how to go through the unmetered inventory process at SSEN with the aim to improve clarity around the requirements and responsibilities for this. To find out more about charge codes and switch regimes, please visit Elexon's website. Here you will find more information about what charge codes and switch regimes are, and also key documents including charge code and switch regime spreadsheets, as well as a dedicated section on test procedures for assets requiring new Elexon charge codes. This video is designed to provide information to contractors, developers, and local authorities to give an overview of the unmetered inventory process. An unmetered inventory is a declaration of assets a customer has connected to a DNO's network. The declaration is required under Section 4 of the National Terms of Connections to enable a DNO to either calculate the estimated annual consumption figures or submit files to the appointed meter administrator in order for them to calculate energy consumption. Street furniture is a collective term used for a variety of unmetered electrical equipment such as streetlights, traffic signals, illuminated road or advertising signs, bollards, telecoms cabinets, or CCTV, to mention a few. There's a few common misconceptions that we'd like to cover. So firstly, SSEN do not own any unmetered street furniture assets. We simply facilitate and supply the connection to the asset. When it comes to MPANS, as part of the unmetered connection agreement, you or your client will be required to register MPANS issued by SSEN with an energy supplier. This is not SSEN's responsibility as we are not a licensed energy supplier. When it comes to energy consumption, SSEN will consider the party named on an unmetered connection agreement as the customer to be the current asset owner. As such, they will be responsible for the payment of energy charges from the date of energization. In the case of assets that will be accrued by a local authority, there might be a period of maintenance in which you or your client will be required to pay for the energy consumption up until the date of formal adoption. If you're unsure of who will be responsible from the date of energization in this instance, please contact the relevant highway lighting department within the local authority to seek clarification. So there's a few things to be aware of in the pre-application stages when you are carrying out work that will affect existing street furniture. Regarding permissions, if you intend to carry out either disconnections or transfer of existing highway street furniture, please ensure agreement is in place with the existing asset owner prior to making your application to SSEN. Regarding letter of authorities, if you are carrying out work on behalf of a client, please ensure that you provide SSEN with a letter of authority in the name of the current asset owner, confirming their permission to carry out the work required. This may not be your client if you are a subcontractor appointed by a contractor working on behalf of the asset owner. In this instance, we would require the letter of authority from the latter in order to trace a record of the asset owner and the relevant inventory within our unmetered database. If you intend to connect to an existing unmetered supply in order to power another asset, such as a CCTV camera, for example, you will first need permission from the asset owner to make a connection within their column. Once this agreement has been reached with the asset owner, you will need to contact us at unmetered.distribution@sse.com to discuss the equipment you wish to install and whether it has been issued with an Elexon charge code. Upon agreement that the connection can be carried out, the asset owner will be required to complete an unmetered connection agreement and return this to the above email address. That is unmetered.distribution@sse.com. The customer named on the agreement will then be issued with MPANs in order for them to register these with an energy supplier. Only when this final action has been completed will permission be given for connection to be carried out. When it comes to actions that you need to take regarding the unmetered connection agreement, we require the following details to be entered. So the customer will be the party responsible for the payment of energy charges from the date of connection. So we will need those details, as well as the customer contact details, the name of the person who SSEN can contact if needed to discuss details contained within the agreement, as well as their telephone number and email address. When it comes to the unmetered connection points, we will need details relating to the location of the connections that are taking place, as well as the signature from the customer. We'll also require the declaration of the unmetered inventory, either via Elexon charge and switch regime codes or manufacturer specification. Failure to complete either one of these sections and returning the agreement without a declaration will result in a delay in issuing your MPANS. Upon receipt of the completed unmetered connection agreement, the SSEN Unmetered team will issue a supply certificate to the customer named on the agreement. The certificate will contain MPANs raised based on the inventory declaration and calculated energy consumption shown in kilowatt hours for each MPAN. The customer named on the certificate will then be required to register the MPAN for energy billing purposes. There's a useful website that you might wish to consult, umso.co.uk/supply, for a list of energy suppliers currently offering unmetered tariffs. So to explain a little bit more about meter point administration numbers, or MPANs for short, it is a unique 13-digit reference that identifies each electricity supplying point. The MPAN is made up of a distributor ID, a unique identifier, and a check digit. The numbers you see along the top there is the profile type, meter times switch code, and line loss factor, and they're there for the energy supplier to know what type of supply they're going to register. You will find your MPAN on supply certificates issued by SSEN, as well as on your energy supply bills. So you've registered your MPANs. What's next? What can you expect? Once you've done this, SSEN will issue authorization for the work to be scheduled. So providing the correct information has been submitted, SSEN will complete your works in 35 working days if your scheme is in an existing adopted highway. If not, we will agree a date with you to complete the works for the requested scheme. Upon completion of works, the SSEN Unmetered team will inform you and your energy supplier that billing can commence. You may wish to make wholesale changes to your current inventory, for example, switching out old luminaires for newer LEDs. So if you want to do this, in the first instance, you should contact us at unmetered.distribution@sse.com to discuss this. You'll also need to submit a new inventory declaration, and upon receipt of this, the SSEN Unmetered team will make the relevant amendments to your inventory and issue a revised supply certificate to you and your energy supplier. For adoption of assets, formal notification will be required, including any written documentation between both parties, the date of adoption or handover, and full contact details of the new asset owner, if this is not already detailed in the documentation provided. Upon handover, the current asset owner must ensure that the new customer is fully aware of the asset or assets they will be responsible for. SSEN will advise the current registered energy supplier of any changes in order for them to update their records. We hope this short video has been useful in providing you with an overview of the unmetered inventory process. For more information about unmetered connections in general, visit our website at sscn.co.uk/unmetered supplies, or contact our unmetered team at unmetered.distribution@sse.com. We also have more information about MPANS, or meter point administration numbers, available on our website too. If you've got any feedback about this video, you can contact connectionsfeedback@sse.com.